It seems like some governments are starting to take things into a rather extreme realm when it comes to people being offended by each other. It's actually now becoming illegal to say something that may be offensive to someone in some American state somewhere. I forget which one specifically. I'll put it in the link. And I've seen videos in Britain where the focus is on how we have to treat people with respect and tolerate them by not saying certain words. And I did a post about the power of words recently and how it's our responsibility, how we react to words. It reflects who we are and the issues that we have, the memories we have, the emotional baggage we have attached to those words. It's not about someone else offending us or someone else attacking us or someone else being the bad person. We are responsible, and to lay the blame at another person's feet just because they used a word that we have an emotional reaction to doesn't make them bad or evil. It makes us someone who needs to deal with that emotional baggage. And that's it. So now, following how governments have been treating all of this stuff, especially in first world countries. Third world countries, we don't have these problems. We're dealing with shit that's it's a whole other level to that. We're like, where'd all the public funds go? Oh, I don't know. Not into roadworks. So, first world countries are now going off of going through this thing where everyone's trying to protect everyone's rights by diminishing everyone's rights, and you end up with everyone having no rights because you're trying to protect everyone's rights, and it's just this vicious cycle that keeps on going, when at the end of the day, the governments are actually completely reneging on their responsibility to develop a functional society that is supportive and inclusive of everyone. Imagine for a moment, put aside your reactions, put aside whatever is going on inside your solar plexus, and just imagine for a moment if governments, instead of making laws about how to not offend other people and to not say certain words and to whatever else they're doing, imagine if they started educating people about self-awareness and how to deal with emotional reactions when someone uses a word that you react to. Imagine if governments helped people take responsibility for themselves. Seems like a pretty radical kind of thought, doesn't it? Well, I think that's exactly what governments should be doing. I think that's exactly part of the responsibility that the public sector has, or that the maybe not the public sector, but the entity that's supposed to be working for the best outcome, the best creation, the best rights, the best life for everyone, should be helping us to essentially be better people in every way. And it's not just about being law-abiding citizens. It's also about understanding the power of words and the power of self-responsibility. It's about understanding, not victimizing ourselves and each other because of our emotional reactions that we have to certain words. Imagine if governments really showed us the power of words. How words that we live create our world, that the emotions that we put into words shape how we will live those words, that how we define those words, how we attach memories, and the specific memories that we attach to those words will shape how we live them and how we live our lives, how we develop relationships, how we participate in the world around us. Everything is so much simpler than we think it is, and yet at the same time it's also so interconnected and so complex. But at the end of the day, life is simple. And we've been complicating things by not actually seeing what we're doing and how we're living. We're not actually looking at ourselves objectively to see how we create ourselves, how we create our relationships, how we create the world around us. We keep trying to blame everything on everyone else and everything else, and on the governments and on this and on that. So it's a perfect opportunity for governments to start redeeming themselves and start showing people what it means to take responsibility for ourselves, to truly appreciate the power of words, and to stop being offended by everything. Rather, not stop being offended by everything, but change how we relate to being offended, where instead of it being this huge emotional drama, it turns into an opportunity for us to reflect on some point that we haven't dealt with within ourselves. Why did I get offended to at that particular word? Why am I reacting to it? Oh, I see, I still have this memory attachment from when I was a child and someone called me this name, and it brings up these particular emotions. Let me forgive myself. Let me move forward. Let me recreate myself within this word and live it in a way that's more supportive. Wishful thinking maybe, but I've met enough people who have proved to me that it's possible to change, that there is still hope for me, that all of humanity can change, that we can all be better, and we can together create a better world that actually supports everyone. Thanks for listening.